And we are back at Gettysburg once again, so let us see what happens. There's more Federal cavalry milling about. What else? His cavalry's somewhat falling back. Looks like I routed a fair chunk of his boys on his right flank. So we will have a look-see how that looks in a moment, as he continues to bring up more troops. My guess, at this point, it will either be... I'm pretty sure at this point it will be Sickles' Corps. So... pretty sure it's Sickles' Corps at this point. And yeah, he's bringing more guns to just bombard me over here. Yeah, there goes his cavalry. They're starting to run because at this point, because my limited cavalry have arrived and are set to hold a position. Now the question is, who is going to be holding there? Who the hell just routed? Why did these boys just rout randomly? Interesting. Either way, we have driven a fair chunk of his line back. They're disrupted. They're disrupted. Disrupted. Routed. Disrupted. They're all disrupted. The real question is, do I continue to launch an assault? What's the losses like so far? 3,000 odd men. I'm not entirely convinced I should at this point, but I must admit the chance of wrapping round his right flank is a nice opportunity. I could take that opportunity to try and wrap around his right flank. I wrap round his right flank. It might cause a bit more of a cascade and just get me in a better position for tomorrow. This lot will head this way. This lot are to head this way. They're just going to start doing their cavalry duties. They're going to take their cavalry duties very seriously. And Posey's brigade will follow that road down, then come up here. Okay, let's have a look. See. Okay, those boys I think are trapped. So I think one lot of his cavalry is at least trapped. I may be able to trap another part. Why did they go that way? That would be why. Well, you're part of Hayes' brigade, so you're actually going to march to rejoin your brigade. Smith, at this point, you might as well just finish these boys off. How many are there? There's, what, like 30 odd men left? There we go. That's them dealt with. And I'll just leave Smith to basically hold the position for now. Hit you with an artillery. Yeah, not really worth it, but let's hit you. Hit you. Just try and cause some more just general casualties in the federal line. But beyond that, I don't think I'm even going to bother pushing anymore. Problem is, that is such a good looking target. The problem is I don't know what's behind that hill. But the question is, could I do it? I think I could. Nah, there we go. There's a regiment there. And a regiment there. Oof. That's part of Paul's brigade. With Hayes continuing to going to continue to try and put some pressure on his right flank. Ow. Hayes, you can get up there. Hope you get up there as well. I don't think I want to launch any more general assaults. I think this will be my last one of the day. In the meantime, I think I will just start looking to redeploy. Scale, you get down there and rejoin your brigade. Yeah, I think I'm going to basically shift Rhodes here, have Early here, Heath here, Pender here, Anderson, and then have My line is going to be horrifically long, but all things considered, no longer than historical. Ow, my arm. Right, you're mounted, aren't you? You can't shoot. Who can you see? You can see those boys up there. But do I care for you to even shoot at those boys up there? Not really. So yeah, at this point, I think Iverson, Daniel, basically their brigades are to fall back, basically try and get out of sight. They're basically going to go back round. They're going to head basically around this part of McPherson's Ridge and Oak Hill. Basically to get out of sight, as I'm going to look to reorganise properly now. Yep, you're out of the way. You've moved. Alright, now, again, it's this lot. What to do? Well, Gordon, I'm going to basically pull back down there. Ramshaw and his troops are to fall back to there. Doles will remain roughly where he is for now, because I don't want to get bogged down in street fighting. But otherwise, we're mostly set. Anyone arrived? No one's arrived. The next thing to arrive will be more artillery next turn. So next turn, more artillery arrives. In the meantime, Pettigrew will fall back behind the ridge. Basically, we're going to leave it just for long enough for him to get out of sight, rest for the night. Davis, you'll fall back up there. O'Neill, you'll fall back to there. Granted, I am creating bits, quite a few gaps in my line, unfortunately, but given the alternative, I'd rather have a gap in my line than be forced to assault the hill tomorrow. I'd rather have that gap in my line temporarily rather than be forced to assault the hill. Now, as for Mahone, you are to continue up to Hare's Tavern. And then what? You are to break that direction. And that will be Mahone's brigade. Now, Wilcox will continue on behind him, as he is now. This part of Mahone's brigade will also be there. And now we just bring up all the damn artillery. Now, Perry and his David Lang's Floridian Brigade will follow up. And now Wright's Brigade, even though that Wright is not here, what was that? Oh yeah. Even though Wright is not here at the moment, he is to come this direction. Just to try and limit the options that the cavalry have. Now then, the old Johnson's division. Jones, you are to follow on. And you are now done. Stewart, you have to follow on. How far can they get? Not really far. So, Stonewall Brigade, you come on afterwards. Doop. And here comes Johnson's division. So Johnson is basically to take up... I'm thinking... Rhodes takes Heath's current position. Early takes Rhodes' current position. Heath goes into reserve, I think. Given that his troops... and I have Pender and Anderson. So I have Pender, Anderson launch an attack here on Cemetery Hill. And maybe Longstreet, when he arrives, to come round. What time does Longstreet arrive, actually? Well, not Longstreet, but McLaws. McLaws arrives at 9 PM, so he'll get maybe... an hour's worth of movement. 9 PM, so where is it? Parameter data. So 8. So we get 7 PM for dusk. Get about an hour of twilight. So 8 PM is when he arrives. So no, he arrives 9. So he arrives at night. So I might just rush him for make him do a little bit of extra marching during the night to get him up. Because Hood doesn't arrive until 8 AM. The Washington Artillery, the First Corps Artillery Reserves, Wright himself. Hood. Stewart arrives up there at 10 AM. Wait, he comes up there, so from there, what can he do? He could look to do some shenanigans on the federal right. But otherwise, I think that is another turn down. Or at least this part of the turn. So onwards to the melee phase. Hoop. Hoop, hoop. Overrun that chunk. So that should cause maybe a chain route over here, even if it's only partial. I accidentally left them there. Whoops. Well, I suppose they can be a watcher. But for now, it does. I suppose I could have this lot. Assault here. That would definitely partly create a route. Yeah, you know what? I think I will. Drive the D company of the 149th back. So, the simple fact is the 107th Pennsylvania is pretty much non-existent at this point. D company of the 149th is naturally small in this because, well, it's a company. But it's even smaller now. Otherwise, we are currently set. What can they see? Okay, they can't see anywhere other than there. But they know I've fallen back there, so this is a bit exposed. So I need to pull it back at this point. Now the cavalry. This is the point. Can I do that? No prediction. Advantage attacker. I don't think I will bother. I'll just let him fall back. That would just be advantage attacker, but yeah, it's like, what is the point? But I'll do it anyway, just to move them about. So I think that is that. So I thank you, and I'll see you with the next part.